When you get the call to perform with the legendary Yo-Yo Ma, you don't say no. And I'm going to share with you the one very important lesson that Yo-Yo Ma taught me and reminded me when it comes to music. I had the fortunate pleasure to perform with the Great Bay Philharmonic in one of the violin sections, and Yo-Yo Ma was playing that legendary Elgar cello concerto that was so popularized by the wonderful Jacqueline Dupre. It was actually an action-packed performance day. Because of Yo-Yo Ma's schedule, he didn't get to come in like 2 days before. We had, I think, approximately 3 or 4 rehearsals total. And then we had one full rehearsal on the day of the concert. And what was staggering, and I talk to my students about this all the time, that you kind of have to be ready to perform anywhere at any time in different time zones, in different settings. And he's had so much experience performing in different types of halls, so he's able to adjust very quickly. It was such an amazing day. The sun was shining. I was able to walk around the beautiful town of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, one of the most charming New England cities in New England and arguably in the country. And I was kind of my heart skipped a beat the fact that I got the call to perform with Yo-Yo Ma. It was just fun, and overall it was just a wonderful program. It was Elgar cello concerto, it was Aaron Copland's Fanfare for the Common Man, and Ravel, and there was a new piece by Viet Quang, which was an all strings piece, which was I think premiered in 2021 by the California Symphony. Really cool piece. But the one thing that I learned about this whole experience that made me excited to perform music in a large ensemble again is that Yo-Yo Ma reminded all of us in the orchestra that music is human first. It is so important as musicians to connect with each other, with humans. And I forgot about that for a long time. Because I was focusing on teaching and I've just used my past experience, I was really dialed into the whole teaching this year. And that was actually one of my goals in 2023 is to focus more on teaching and less performing. But now I'm kind of thinking that maybe I should reverse course. Maybe I should do a little bit more performance because it helps enrich my soul. That's number one. That's something that I really realized, that if you are playing with really high caliber musicians, the level of musicianship goes through the roof. And it also forces you to play better. That's so important. And I remember just playing in my seat when Yo-Yo Ma was right in front of me in the second violin section. And he somehow makes Elgar cello concerto as if we are hearing it for the first time. And granted, he's been playing this concerto for 50 plus years. And it just goes to show that even to this day, if you have such a masterpiece work presented to you in your dedicated instrument, for violin, could be the Brahms Violin Concerto, could be Beethoven Violin Concerto, Sibelius, Korngold, all those great concertos, but it doesn't matter if you have plateaued with the entire process of performing. But somehow he was able to inspire the whole group by sharing a little bit about Elgar. And we all knew the history of Elgar cello concerto. It was the last piece that Elgar wrote in his life before his death, and he kind of reminded us of the time. He has this amazing ability to get you connected to the story of the piece and helping you connect with nature, and kind of using all different nature metaphors to describe the piece. And it really made sense the way he was describing. And of course, again, he's been performing it for 50 plus years. And it just really it just really inspired me, because the language that I'm using now since that concert has really helped my students grow musically. Because a lot of the times I'm here teaching you guys about technique, I'm teaching you guys about sound production, but that is the most basic part of violin playing. What really makes you an artist, a true musician, and a master of your craft is by really exploring into the depths of the music in which you are performing in. And to be able to let the music flow through you it's an incredible feeling that I hope one day, if you're a beginner or if you're an intermediate and you want to play these masterpieces, it is doable. You can totally, work your way towards playing a masterpiece of your choice, a masterpiece that you are passionate about. It doesn't, by the way, it doesn't have to necessarily be a concerto, but it could be a piece that is within your range, that you fully absorb and really invest yourself into the whole process of the music making. Although I didn't get a chance to speak to him personally, just because of the chaos of that day, there was a rehearsal. He was only here for an hour for the rehearsal, which maybe I will do a future video on in terms of the actual, maybe behind the scenes of the daily life of an orchestra musician when a soloist comes into town. But again, importantly, despite the craziness of the day, we maybe played Elgar once or twice through, and he still was able to experiment with different things, with different tempos and sound of the orchestra and how it sounds in the hall, in the beautiful music hall in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Those are things that he just illustrates such high command of his instrument, and the level of artistry just really inspired me. And that's something that I wanted to share with you, my YouTube audience, that if you are searching for depth and you're searching for more meaning into the music in which you are performing, really research your piece, research the composer, try to get other people to comment on your playing, and maybe even have meaningful discussions about the piece that you're talking about with other musicians, or basically talking about that time period. Like Elgar wrote the cello concerto in such a very unique time in history, and it's just one of those really meaningful pieces of music and masterworks that we sometimes as professional artists we take for granted. But in the way that Yo-Yo Ma performed that concerto, it really felt as if he was introducing it us for the first time, even though he's played it for that many years. And that is my goal for you. If you are working on a piece of music that you have been working so hard on, sometimes we are in this box in the practice room where we've been hearing and we've been really digesting this music for a long period of time. But to tell you the truth, a lot of your peers may not know what this piece is about, may not even know what the melody of this piece is. So you have to introduce why this piece of music is important to you and why it stands in one of the major masterpieces in the music repertoire. So I just wanted to share that with you, because a lot of you might be thinking, well, I'm not good enough. I feel like quitting. My palms are too big. My shoulders are not in the right place. But it's much more than that, friends. It's much more than just the whole technique. Yes, the technique is an important musical foundation, but in the end, you are using that technique to help your artistry, to help your music. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. And it's not a violin tutorial video. I know I haven't been doing that much because of certain events in my life, but I wanted to share this important life moment with you that I've experienced, and I wanted to share with you. So thank you for watching to the end of this video, and I promise that more violin tutorials are coming. Thanks so much.